Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I kind of been distant and away for a couple of weeks. I didn't have a spot to record stuff, and so that was kind of a deal. Had a couple of life-changing issues too, but that's all good. I'd like to thank Scott Condrick here for letting me use his wonderful, beautiful studio. Thank you, Scott. Today I want to talk a little bit about technique with the hand. Boy, it's been a while. Last video we did was something live, I believe. I did a lot of live videos because I didn't have the spot to go and record some videos. I think Justin too, for his spot, his studio. I'll probably be going between there and here, you know, from time to time. He's remodeling his studio. It's gonna be awesome too. So yeah, how's everybody been? I'm glad to be here again, man. It's good. And like I say, thank you again, Scott, and the studio, and this wonderful martini set we get to jam on. So life is good, man. I hope you guys are doing good and been doing good. So I know there's a lot of drummers out there that are way more famous than I am, and I don't consider myself anybody famous or anything like that. I'm just a regular Joe, man. I work just like you guys do, and you know, I try to share. I've been playing for a long time, you know, ever since I was like 6 and 7. So I learned a lot from different drummers, just watching, you know, and like I said before in some of my earlier videos, I've watched a lot of drummers. When I was a kid, man, and growing up, teenager, I was the kid that just went up to the stage on the side and just watched the drummer. No matter if it was rock, jazz, pop, Latin. I just watched how he would do things. One of my favorite drummers of all time is, some of you might know this, but one of my favorite drummers of all time is Buddy Rich. Buddy Rich, to me, stood out and resonated with me because that's the kind of type of music that I like too. I love jazz. I don't get to play it a lot, but I mean, I practice it when I'm not playing with a band or something. I do love playing jazz, and over the years, you know, I've had like some of my family members or friends and say, hey, you know, you got fast hands. You know, how did you get the fast hands? And I go, well, you know, I studied Buddy Rich. I read some of his books that he used to have. I can't read notes. I'll be honest with you. I cannot read notes. If you tell me, even if we're doing a song, which is kind of embarrassing, if you tell me, what song do you want to sing Mustang Sally, or what song do you want to sing, and I go, I don't know, man, just play a note, play something. And the guitar player will play something, and I'll be, yeah, I can sing it there. So, something some people do know about me is that I don't know keys, I don't know notes, I can't read. I mean music. I mean I can read. I'm not a big dummy. Well, kinda, but yeah. One of the things I learned from Buddy, from reading his books at an early age, was hand placement and the sticks, where the sticks are supposed to be, how you're supposed to hold a stick. Rule of thumb is, everybody knows this, and I'm just repeating stuff that I learned. So this is what I'm going to share with you, and maybe you might know this already, or maybe you don't. So it might help somebody out. All right. So with the hand, your wrist, it's like this, right? Straight. So when you play, you're using your wrist. You're going like this. You're not really going like this. You can if you're playing like heavier music, you know, and you want to sound really, really loud and you want to hit the drums hard. But for some of the type of music that I play, I'm doing this. I'm doing this wrist mode, and then side to side like this, up and down, up and down. So I don't know if you guys know this, but with the stick company, this one is, I'm not sponsored by this certain stick. It's the one I pulled out of my bag. You have the logo right here. And the reason they do that is because at the end of this logo right here, that's where your balance is. Now, a lot of people think that the stick in the middle that's where you have your balance, but it's not. It's further back, and that's why the logo is here. So this is where you're supposed to grab your stick. And if you put your hand up, you'll see that the end of the stick is almost at the bottom of your palm right here, which is perfect. Perfect, just like that. Okay, so logo like this, and palm of your hand right about there. And if it sticks out a little more, you know, just size of your hand, doesn't really matter. So right there is perfect. So rule of thumb is you're playing this way, and you have your hands and your fingers. You know, you don't want to grip it like super hard like this. That's not the correct way to do it. So what you want to do is you want to have your fingers on the stick right here, and your thumb a little bit forward, just like that. And the pinky, Buddy Rich never uses pinky. I don't know why. So when you ever see a Buddy Rich video, he's going super fast and he's flowing, and he's never using the pinky when he's trying to go super fast. So this is the motion right here, how it should be, like this. And I know this is kind of a boring video, but trust me, it'll help you. This is the motion you want to be doing. Now, this is another motion. Your fingers. So what that sounds like, here's the motion with your wrist. Here's the fingers. So when you're doing this motion here, you should be even. It's the wrist. You can see my wrist moving. It's the fingers. So this is what it looks like from the side here. Wrist. Fingers. So that's very effective once you practice that and you learn that quite a bit. You use your wrist like this. See, even like when you're way up here, you're flexing your wrist more compared to down here. Now, if you were to do this with your whole arm, it would be a lot harder. So, wrist, fingers, wrist, fingers. Some of the stuff that I used to love that Buddy would do, Buddy Rich, is the reason it sounded so smooth is because when he was going around you know, the rack tom and the floor tom, he was doing, everything was wrist. It was going from here to floor tom to here, back to snare, floor tom, back, floor tom, back, floor tom, back, floor tom. And it's supposed to go in like, instead of going like this, from here to here with your, see my movement now? Now, it's not so fast. Same on top. It's supposed to go in like this. So when he did a solo and he was just, he just flowed, he wasn't really moving everything. You know, he was just moving his wrist from side to side, up, on top. And Buddy, with his left hand, he'd use the traditional grip, so it was easier for him to go from here to here, if that makes any sense. I read in a book a long time ago that the reason traditional grip exists is because back in the day when soldiers, long time ago, they used to carry that big old snare, you know, and he used to like bump on their knee a lot, so they put it sideways this way, so then they were able to use the traditional grip sideways like this. That's where that's where this grip came from. That's what I learned, so share it with you. So I'm not a traditional grip player, so just remember, hand straight, wrist, fingers is everything. And sometimes when you want to play harder, you know, you can still use your wrists. You don't have to, you know, just. Suppose you're going like this, which is fine, but just think of it as the bass drum baton. On a bass drum, you know, you got the baton, the beater. Let's say this is your bass drum, right? So depending on where your beater is on the bass drum, you know, it could be here, or it could be way back here. The further you are from the beater, from the drum head, you're going to get a lot of power this way. The beater's back here. But you're not going to get a lot of speed because you're way back here. Same thing if you're up close, you know. You want speed, you're going to get it faster, but it's not going to be as powerful. If you're in the middle, that's the perfect spot to be. Something to think about. Same thing with the wrist and the playing. You know, if you're way up here and you want to do this, you're going to really have to work harder because you're way up here. So just something to think about. That's all for this video. Just wanted to share with you. Yeah, it's even if you practice that, you know, you practice that. Start off slow with your wrist. Start using your fingers. That's very effective, and you can do that all day. All day, just sit there, have a drink, you know, whatever. God, I love talking drums. So yeah, practice that, and then we'll work on something else next week. So once again, thank you to Scott, wherever he's at. Thank you, Scott. And we'll see you next week, all right? You know the drill. Keep on rocking.